here with Professor José de Areilza from Madrid. Professor Areilza is Professor of Law in Jean Monnet Chair at the ESADE Law School in Barcelona. He's also the Secretary General of Aspen Institute in Spain. And Professor Areilza holds his doctorate from the Harvard Law School. He's a very important author of many books and academic works on European Union law and politics. And here at the Law School of São Paulo, Professor Areilza, you are teaching a course on European Union law and politics. What is the first question? What is the importance of such a course for Brazilian law students and foreign students outside of the European Union?
The goal of the course is to open their minds to the most advanced economic regional integration model, the European one, so they can relate not just to European issues, but to issues that are also common in a globalized market, like decision-making outside the state, lawmaking, democratic questions about accountability, representation. The European model, both from a legal and a political point of view, has a lot to offer in terms of a conversation about these topics in a globalized market.
Very well. What is the conception of this course? How are your teaching methods? Because here at the Law School of São Paulo, we are very interesting. This is a point, a very important point, the teaching methods, the participation of the students on the course, the preparation, the additional lectures. How is the conception of your course?
It's a short course, but I have tried to use as many cases as possible. The case law of the European Court of Justice is essential to understand the legal development of the European Union. So we have been discussing some of the main cases of this European Court. We have also, in a very interactive mode, discussed different political topics or economic issues like the crisis of the single currency. And I really try to combine as much as possible a Socratic method with some moments in which I need to lecture to the students.
Very well. I have read in these days a very interesting, different approach of viewing this working paper with the title A Tale of Two Cities, the next European utopia. Everybody knows that we have a crisis in the European Union, a financial, economical, and also political crisis, and everybody's looking about alternative modes, methods of organization, structural reforms of the European Union. What is the conception, the central idea of this paper, and how do you think about the future of the European Union?
This very recent paper is based on a book I put out this year called Law and Power in the European Union. The main thesis is that we have already been to the first city. In a metaphorical way, we have already achieved the objectives of integration that were set out in the 50s, and that the European Union needs a new impetus, a new impulse, a new utopia to really be a success in the next 60 years from a legal, political, economic point of view. And the way to walk towards this next city has to be different in many ways from what we've done in the past. Until the early 20th century, European integration has been a very elitist project. It has also been driven by results, and it has not addressed a very important chapter, which is the European Union becoming a global actor that can defend its interests and project its values in the rest of the world. So we need to build a European Union that is deeply politicized, that is, that brings to the European level the concepts of representation and accountability in a much better form. And we also need a union that becomes a global actor. And most of the things that are challenging us as Europeans have been outside our frontiers, but we haven't figured out how to deal with them in a unified way.
Very well. So, maybe a last question. You think after this crisis, the relationship and the forces relation between North and South of Europe will be changed? You will have a different conception of the relations in the European Union between North and South? Or it's a wrong way to think?
As you know, and here we are, a Greek and a Spanish together. This crisis has created a terrible division between North and South, also between governments and citizens. That's why we need to create a new kind of politics at the European level, where we can openly deliberate about different visions of Europe, and politics really influences policies. There's a decoupling that is very dangerous. It also happens in other areas of the globalized market, by which democratic demands are not translated into policies. In the short term, the European single currency had to be fixed. A lot of improvised technocratic decisions had to be taken, but now that the single currency is again here to stay, the time has come for a democratic discourse and for politicization of the workings of the European Union to heal these wounds and to relaunch.
Thank you very much for this interview, for your participation in the Global Law course with this innovative, different for Brazilians, so standards course about European Union law and politics. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you. It's a big pleasure.